There are many different kinds of art, but one of the most common is painting. Painting may seem simple as you just say, well, it's painting. You know, you use paint, a paintbrush, and something to paint on, right? Well, not really. There's different kinds of paint and there's different paintbrushes. So, like, what kinds of paint are there, right? Well, the first type of paint is acrylic. Acrylic paint is water-based, so it is very easy to clean while you can just use water. Acrylic also blends really easily. So if you were to have red and yellow, you could blend them together in the middle and make a very easy orange really quickly. While other paints don't do that. Acrylic also dries very fast. So if you were to paint something, it could dry within minutes or it could dry within a few hours, but it doesn't take that long to dry. So sometimes you can't go back and fix it. Another thing when it dries is sometimes it changes colors. Most likely it'll go a shade darker than it originally was. So if you have a red, it might dry a little maroon. Acrylic paint is also really, really affordable. You can get a bottle about this big for 2 fluid ounces for only 50 cents at Walmart. And according to staff, acrylic paint is really, really good for beginners. Well, why? Because it's easy to blend and it's really cheap. What other types of paint are there though? There's oil paint. Oil paint takes a lot longer to dry. So maybe acrylic paint might dry within a few minutes, but oil paint, well, it might take days or years, depending on the layers and the details that you add in your painting. Oil paint can really easily layer on itself. So if you didn't like your painting and you decided that you wanted to go back a few days later and fix it, you can. You can easily go back as long as it's not dried, which it takes a long time to dry. You can go back and just fix your mistakes or things that you don't like. Oil paint, however, is very difficult to clean. You have to have a specific cleaning liquid to clean the oil paint off of your paintbrushes. Why? Because oil doesn't mix with water, so you can't use water. But what things can you use painting for? I mean, those are the types of paint, but what can you use them for? Well, one of the first professions you can choose is making cards. Making cards can involve Christmas cards, holiday cards, or just invitations to your birthday party. But why would someone want to do that? Well, you get paid a lot for doing that, considering there is many, many different designs, and there are different fonts, and many different things that go into making cards. You can get paid $90,000 a year in 2016, according to McGinty. That's a lot of money if you ask me. Another profession you can do is muralist. A mural is a big painting on a wall, such as this behind me, and it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a person, flowers, or the American flag. It really doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's on a wall where someone can take a picture or it's really, really big. It's a mural. Muralists have to have really good scale. If they're not good at scale and they're painting like someone's face, their face can look all messed up and their eyes can be in the wrong place. So they have to be really good at scale. Muralists get paid about $50,000 a year in 2018, according to the Art Career Project. So, I mean, they get paid pretty well too. But why would you want to paint? Well, painting can increase creative growth. What does that mean? Well, that means that your creativity levels can increase. So if before you started painting, you don't really do anything, just kind of, I don't know, sit around, but then after you start painting, you can start envisioning things and be like, hey, I want that shelf on that wall because that would look really cool. According to Foxhill, it doesn't matter if you're left or right-sided on your brain, you can still be creative with painting. Painting can actually increase your creativity. Painting can also boost your memory. So if you are painting and you remember a memory from a really long time ago, it's because painting helps you relax. Another thing painting does is stress relief. According to Foxhill, it is an emotional release to paint. So if you're having a stressful moment or you just need to calm down because you're anxious or overwhelmed about something, begin to paint. if you are painting, during that moment, your brain will be so focused on painting that you won't even be thinking about the stressful situation as stressful anymore. You'll think of ways to resolve that situation instead. Painting can also help you relax. Since you are focusing on the painting, you'll relax. You'll focus more on the painting instead of the worries and stresses of your life. It'll relax you. And painting is also really good for your mental health. While there are many other things that you can do for your mental health, painting can help you relax and, well, improve your happiness. So like I said before, there are many things you can paint on. A few things I've painted on are CDs. Here's one. And another. And one more. I have also painted on a deck of cards. There's many, many more that I've painted on. And like you can see behind me, I've painted on a wall. I do, in fact, use acrylic paint. I prefer acrylic paint because, well, it's easy to clean and it's a lot cheaper. But I prefer my painting to be more of a hobby. So, I mean, you don't have to make it a profession. You can just make it a hobby and, well, stress relief, right? But don't shoot painting down before you try it, right? I mean, you gotta give it a shot, especially if it relieves your stress.